Andre, today we have one of my favorite recent family haulers, the new ID.Buzz.
But here's the question we're trying to answer. Is this new ID.Buzz that perfect road trip vehicle that we all dream of?
Right, so we're gonna try to do the Denver 100 loop twice, because technically this does have enough range that theoretically we should be able to complete it twice, but who knows?
Yes, this is a range test on the highway, and that's what we love doing, right? Road trips, but it's more than just range, isn't it?
That's true. You know, it's more about also, is it comfortable? Is it not more comfortable for even the other passengers rather than just the driver? You know, we're gonna put it to the test today.
Exactly. Let's do this. So one critical part about any road trip is actually having the navigation system help you, right?
Oh yeah, actually inputting your charging stations on the way.
Exactly. And hopefully it's done for you instead of you and I sitting down with a computer and starting to plan out, you know, where we need to stop.
Print out old MapQuest type days.
Yes. So let's see. So for example, Rudy's Texas Barbecue is about 100 miles away. That's not far enough.
No.
Let's try to make it go somewhere else.
Why don't we just put in like Albuquerque?
Yeah.
Yeah. That should definitely be long enough. Plenty. Okay. Very good.
It says we'll have to charge 3 times.
So this has our different charging stations stopped on the way.
Yeah, ideally, I mean, this could be better. So this is pretty good, but I kind of want to know a little bit more detail, like this.
Yeah.
So actually, this is pretty nice.
This is nice.
It kind of tells us how long to expect to stop and kind of like what the trip will be like.
Right. And you could either consolidate this information or have it shown, which is nice.
So Jen, we noticed something. Right now, we've been city driving, right?
Right.
But what happens if we choose like a faraway destination?
So if we put in Albuquerque, we're going to go ahead and start that.
Whoa, look at this. My range dropped.
And we haven't moved
At all.
at all.
So it is smart enough. Actually, it's thinking about it. It's calculating. It knows we're going to be going fast.
Right.
So our range may drop.
Interesting that it calculates it immediately.
That's good. And also fast. This interface works pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to drive because Roman drove it, our marketing director Grant drove it, you drove it, Tommy drove it. I think everybody drove it but me.
Everyone but you, as you deserve some seat time in this little bus.
Okay, so Roman had a poor experience
Yep.
when he first purchased it in Pennsylvania. Then Grant had a beautiful experience. He loved it.
Same
on the road
trip, just very different
segments.
weather experiences.
Yeah. Roman was in a freezing snowmageddon.
Yep.
Grant was not in the snow, but he loved his road trip. Then you took a road trip.
I've taken a couple in this. So Mary and I took this down to Rye, Colorado to go to Bishop Castle.
Right.
And
You
that
saw some goats.
Yeah, we saw goats randomly. It was fantastic. But we also had a really, really great experience. The only thing that was kind of challenging was trying to figure out charging. The charging itself wasn't so difficult. It was the fact that the charging stations were always full. So then it was, do we risk it for the biscuit and keep going, or do we wait? So we ended up just going to a farther location, which was absolutely fine. But this doesn't have the capability of the Tesla supercharging network with the Magic Dock yet being the key word.
Because we just saw a piece of news, thanks to our friends at Inside EVs, who are reporting on this, and they said in June or July of 2025, the VWs will have access to supercharging network.
So soon.
And also the supercharging network has been very reliable.
Oh yeah.
I've used it over the years. You've used it.
Tons.
And I used it across the country, in fact, very, very reliably.
Yeah.
So that's a good news.
Yeah.
Denver 100 loop is toll road, basically a highway all the way around Denver, Colorado. It's technically 111 miles for one loop, and it's because I just wanted to go as far as possible on our official loop. We've tested pickup trucks, SUVs, Rivian R1T recently. You and I did the Cybertruck.
You have 3 different types of tires on that Cybertruck, I'll have you know.
So we wanted to do this loop because we can compare it to some other vehicles as well.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, this vehicle has a little bit of a learning curve getting in. But it's so unique. We've already gotten some waves and smiles from people.
Yeah.
I think if you want to take your family on a road trip, I think this is one of the better vehicles.
That's true. And especially for all the kiddos in the back, like this is such an experience for them too.
And we'll experience the back seat too.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what it's like to actually ride in the back seat, and I'm going to do some work. I'm going to pull out my laptop.
Yeah, which you absolutely can.
Which I often do on the road trips. My wife hates it, but hey, that's part of the job sometimes, right?
Work hard, play hard.
Yes.
So our ID.Buzz is the all-wheel drive first edition, which means it's got dual motors, 335 horsepower, 512 pound-feet of torque, and it's got a 91 kilowatt-hour battery. Its estimated range is about 235 miles, but our clock is telling us 260 miles right now. So we'll actually see how well that's going to do on the highway, especially with a little bit of wind that we're experiencing today. That can certainly drop the range, but we've got big 20-inch wheels, this beautiful two-tone blue and white color, very retro. Overall, I think it looks fantastic.
And here's what I mean when I said a little bit of a learning curve.
Right.
First of all, there is a stop button, but you can kind of get in and put your foot on the brake.
You can kind of bypass it.
And you can kind of bypass it. So that's kind of cool. You have options.
Right.
Then it took you how many minutes to research how to reset the trip meter?
Well, Andre, it took longer than I would have liked it to.
So
but
there's several levels. You have to go home, then vehicle, then interior, then cockpit.
Yeah.
Why do you have to go 4 levels down?
I know, and a lot of times you would find trip resetting in your cluster. And the first time I drove this, I spent I don't know how long trying to figure out where it would be in the cluster. Could not find it by the end of the day. But it's in your main touchscreen, but it's just kind of embedded between a bunch of different menus that may not have made sense. I would not have expected that I had to go to interior and then cockpit.
Because interior means to me like lighting features,
exactly.
other features,
and that's
not trip.
And that's some of the different categories they have when you go to interior. So at first glance, you're like, well, this is obviously not where I want to go. But I'm like, you know what? I have no other choice. I need to find this. I'm going to click every option that it has, and finally I found it. So.
And then it does have adaptive cruise control system, but it's not completely hands-free, at least yet.
No.
Right? We do not have our optional roof rack on this because that made a whistle.
It did.
But I can still hear wind coming off like a passenger side
a little bit
window.
It's definitely more noisy at higher highway speeds. But when you're just when you're just kind of cruising down side roads, this is extraordinarily quiet. One thing that I'm enjoying right now are my massaging seats, Andre.
Let me try that too.
We have 3 different options for the massaging seats. You can either go through the touchscreen and you can select waves, tapping, or stretching. I'm on the stretching option now.
Can I just check mine?
Yeah.
Driver, I'm also stretching. I don't want to be stretching. How about tapping?
There you go.
I'm not sure what that means, but
you can set the duration from as little as 10 minutes all the way up to, let's see, should be 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then you can adjust the level of intensity as well. So not only can you turn on and adjust your massaging seats through the touchscreen, but there is also a button on the side to turn it on as well. But both front seats have memory seating as well. Not even just the driver. That's kind of a nice little.
And it has a traditional kind of captain chair feel. You've got an armrest, and also I have a great visibility. I feel like I'm in the cockpit of an airplane. In fact,
you can see everything in the Buzz.
And by that I mean I have like these big A-pillar windows as well. It's a unique driving experience. My front windshield is like a mile ahead of me.
It's super far away.
But it's all good stuff. I mean, it has unique character to it.
Yeah.
I just wish they controlled the noise a little bit more, the wind noise.
Yeah.
This video is brought to you by Scott O'Sullivan and his law firm. Not only is Scott a good friend of mine, but he's a great attorney. And if I was ever hurt in an accident, there's no doubt who I would call. So if you're looking for some of the best legal representation around, make sure you click on the link below and visit Scott O'Sullivan. He not only sponsored this video, but he'll take care of you as well.
So we've gone 76 miles already. And look at this. Our average efficiency is actually pretty good.
Yeah, not terrible. So I know with the Denver 100, the first part of the loop is pretty much kind of uphill.
And now we've been coming down for the last like 10 or 15 miles. And by coming down, I mean like 300-400 feet of elevation. Not dramatic.
No, but
still.
It's enough to recognize.
So 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour over 76 miles and 1 hour and 17 minutes of driving. So we've been averaging close to 60 miles an hour, 61, which is a normal road trip speed.
Right.
Like if you went from here to Albuquerque about 500 miles and you stopped for lunch or bathroom breaks, that's exactly what you would be seeing.
Exactly.
And we're at 66%. Do you want to show that really quick? 66%. And 171 miles remaining, according to this. Do you think we could do 2 loops? I'm kind of struggling.
I'm a little nervous about it, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, can it happen?
Yes. Well, let's go for it. So, by the way, when I look at the map, you see that even though we haven't mapped it, it's showing us Electrify America stations.
Different charging stations along the way, which is such a wonderful thing to be able to see without even having to search for it. It shows you right away.
And I'm assuming red light means busy or maybe non-functioning.
I would assume. Let's give it a press here. Currently in use. Yep.
Yeah. So that's quite helpful. So green, I'm assuming means there's something available.
Available now. 6 available now. Yeah, that's wonderful information to have.
I wanted to show really quick this screen. So it's kind of another way of looking at it. And it says if we stop now, our charging speed would be about 93 kilowatts. So this number could be better if we're at the lower state of charge, probably.
True. And this will climb if we have lower state of charge. With us being at only 64%, that's not enough room in the tank for it to really pick up some speed.
So I think we're doing pretty well considering all elements. But now, I think we need to switch drivers. Well, Jen, with a snap of a finger, bam, you're driving and I'm relaxing.
Back in the saddle again. How do you feel back there?
You know what? This is incredible. I can cross my legs, I could lay down, I can recline, I have a heated seat, I have a panoramic sunroof. By the way, can you make it see-through?
Oh, yeah.
There you
go.
Oh.
How about that?
Just imagine going through a national park or a downtown area of some city, enjoying the views above you. This is it.
That's very true, because when you do take, drives through the mountains, you're missing a lot of it because the roof is there, but when you actually have this, it's pretty fantastic.
And I know it's not the only vehicle with a panoramic roof, and I know it doesn't open, but it offers that additional kind of vacation feel. You know?
Well, I like that you have the option to make it opaque or not. If the sun is beating down on you too much, for the front passengers, we at least have this extra shaded room in the front, but for the rear passengers, they could just be getting sun beat. So the option to make that, a little more foggy is really nice.
So anytime I go on like a weekend trip with my family, my wife and kids get into a vehicle, usually pickup trucks, and the first thing they ask me is, how many cup holders do we have? Right?
So how many do we have, Andre?
Well, we have a lot. I just moved the console from your area towards my back area here. It's on the floor.
It's pretty easy to do, too.
Yeah, one person can do it.
Yep.
I have 2 cup holders here. You have a couple up there, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 in the front here.
And each door has one. We have at least one for each passenger in the 3rd row. So I think I think my family would be happy with this arrangement.
And
just
not to
like
mention,
this.
there's also spots for like big water bottles in the door pockets too, for both the front and the sliders too.
Yeah.
So there's, cup holders galore.
All right, I have a sliding window in my door. So I can open it. I can get some fresh air if I wanted to.
Yeah. And you've got your own climate zones back there for both the passenger and driver side too, right?
Yeah, so this is really like 4 quad climate control.
Quad climate control, yeah. That's really nice to have.
I have lights, I have vents. There are vents in the back. I think ultimately, plus there is a lot of space in the third row too. We could check it out, but I've actually tried it before, and I can tell you that there's plenty of space in here.
Yeah, and it's not even lacking in charging ports either. There's USB-C ports all over the place here too.
I'm trying. Oh yeah, I have one here, one there. You have 2 up there.
There's some in the third row too.
Yeah.
So every person is covered as far as charging any type of device, which is definitely what you're going to want in a road trip, because they're going to be watching whatever they're going to be watching on any type of device, but you need to make it last. You have to be able to charge it if you're going to have a decent long road trip.
So I think this checks off a lot of those elements, right? Spaciousness, comfort, some nice features like we just discussed. So I think it checks a lot of those boxes.
Absolutely. Especially for you, typically most kids aren't 6'3", but you're 6'3" and you're sitting back there comfortably.
Yeah. I'm more than comfortable. And actually, the seat is actually far away off the floor, that my legs, are actually on the seat instead of being above the seat.
Oh, right. You don't feel like you're just laying down practically.
Yeah, so it's just everything is comfy in here. It's nice.
Hard to complain about it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of work.
Oh.
If you don't mind.
Where to next, sir?
Well, we're almost done with the first loop. We wanted to do 2 Denver 100s, but gosh, I don't know if we can make it all the way.
Yeah, we're not even done with the first one yet, and we're at 55%, 137 miles of range left.
All right, and as you saw, we have a little bit of traffic and some traffic lights too. It's not the entire highway loop.
Right.
And this is a standard loop. So there's a little bit of slower speeds also between 50 and 55 miles an hour. So it's a little bit of a mixture. So Jen, we just crossed a 111-mile point in our journey.
Yes.
Which is basically one loop.
One loop.
And we're at what percentage?
52%, 134 miles.
Hey, so the fan is telling us we can make it another loop.
Theoretically.
Right?
Theoretically.
Okay, so actually I'm pretty pleased. We're averaging about 55 miles per hour. It's been 2-hour journey so far to go about 111 miles. So far this van is surprising actually.
Yeah, and our miles per kilowatt hour has actually been doing pretty good. Right now we're averaging at 2.9.
Yeah,
And
so you and I did the exact same loop just a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
In a Cybertruck with 2 different sets of tires.
Right.
And the best result we got was about 2.45 miles per kilowatt hour.
Still not terrible, especially for such a big beast like the Cybertruck.
Yeah,
but
on big off-roady tires, right?
yeah.
So the fact that this is doing 2.9, 2.8 is actually a pretty good result.
Yeah, I'm very pleased.
All right, well, let's keep going and see how far we can go. We don't want to run out. We don't have a mobile charger next to us.
No. I know a lot of people, I'm sure, would love to see us run this dry and stranded on the side of the road, but I'm so sorry, guys. We're not going to do that today.
Yeah, we don't have a whole team, with an additional generator behind us.
Nah.
So, all right, let's go. Jen, we've been in this Buzz for 3.5 hours.
It's been a long day, Andre.
I need a break. I mean, we still have a little bit of range left, but this is what a road trip would be like, right?
Yeah, I mean, you go until you can't go anymore, right?
So
And
usually either the person gives up or the car gives up.
so far the car hasn't given up, but I'm getting pretty close.
But I see a warning message. You have 12% remaining.
12%. We got 31 miles, and Andre, in the 3 years that I worked at Tesla, ain't no way I ever let a car drop below 30 miles. So this goes against my grain. Absolutely. I know you can definitely run it down. It gives me such range anxiety. So
Okay, but this is TFL.
But how many miles left until we get back to the office?
So technically, to complete 2 loops of Denver 100, we'll have to go 222 miles.
Right.
But I'm gonna push it a tiny bit further.
Of course we are.
Because you love that, right? So, to our office, where we have a level 2 charger, it's 24 miles.
Ooh, okay. So we are not leaving us with a whole lot of cushion.
No, but I think that was the point of this whole video.
That's true.
First of all, I still feel pretty good, even though I have to use a restroom soon. So I'll have to let you know. I have to let you know if that happens.
Well,
But, dude, so far it's been a smooth ride. The long wheelbase of this Buzz, I think, helps out with ride.
just soaks up any imperfections. It's just incredibly smooth.
But here's an issue. The maximum charge rate at a DC fast charger, level 3, is about 170 kilowatt.
Not great.
I think for us, we're getting to that point because we could have selected the fast charger, right?
Right.
And if we do that, what's the speed if you hit charging?
Yeah, let's see.
And-
Oh,
189.
it's saying 189 right
Whoa,
now.
That would be a really fast charge.
That's-
Hold on a second. Let me get it on camera.
I mean, that's
That's not too shabby.
I mean, I guess that's what helps when you completely drain your battery.
Yeah, the
is
battery is ready.
It allows it to actually charge a lot faster.
So,
189. Wow.
and at level 2, it has a capability of charge up to 11 kilowatt speed.
Mm-hmm.
So with 91 kilowatt hours, which is actually not a very big battery, right?
No, I mean, yeah, it's not the tiniest, but
No.
we've seen bigger.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of pickup trucks and bigger vehicles have far bigger batteries.
Right.
In vehicle this size, it weighs about 6,200 pounds. This Buzz, all-wheel drive. On level 2, it will take us maybe 9 hours to recharge. But if this was a road trip, I think we could be back on the road, like you were saying, within about 30 minutes.
Yeah, they said 10 to 80% within 30 minutes or so.
Which is perfect, to grab a bite to eat
Yep,
somewhere.
stretch your legs.
Stretch the legs, go to the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the kids are upset, maybe you could run around a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as far as our miles per kilowatt, we are holding steady, and it's even improved at 2.9 miles per kilowatt right now.
Yeah,
Miles
and
per
our average
kilowatt.
speed has been 57 miles per hour, which is not 70, like most of the trip we spent at 70 or 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But because we had some slowdowns, like in this city situation
And
here,
there's some construction areas too, where
Yeah.
you kind of have to.
but that's normal for a trip. I mean,
Right.
with stops, you're probably averaging about 60 miles an hour anyways.
True.
So that's pretty good.
Just the old Buzz doing pretty good.
All right, but will it make it to the office? That's what I want to know.
Andre, it better make it to the office.
Otherwise, it's going to be a very long day. I really now have to go to the restroom.
It's okay because we're here.
Yes.
And we have 18 miles.
So
to
what were you
spare.
worried about?
You're right. I was such a worrywart.
Okay, so we have, what is it, 6% battery?
6%, and she is red. It's in not
red.
happy.
We have 18 miles left. We averaged 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour, which is actually a great result, I think. And we traveled almost 225 miles.
Yeah, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. That is a lot better than I was kind of anticipating, to be honest.
It is quite a bit better. And we did it, and VW says 235 miles is possible. Mm-hmm. I think I have no doubt it's possible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Considering we went 224 and we still have 18 miles left.
Yes.
I mean, I think it did a great job.
How much does it cost? Wait, don't tell me. But wait, there is more. We wanted to actually fast charge after this trip instead of just talking about it and thinking about it theoretically. We actually want to go to this Electrify America station and see how quickly this charges. It says it could go as quickly as 189 kilowatts at the DC charger. Let me see if I can open this.
All right, we're gonna plug in first. Okay, we're going. So we are set to 80%.
Yeah, or you could change it to 90 or some other value. Look at this, 164.
Oh, she's climbing.
177.
190. And that is way higher than what what is this? Electrical system not working correctly. Please service vehicle. Let me unplug and plug it back in. The age-old, see if it's working. Have you tried unplugging and plugging back in?
That's what every tech support person says.
So let's try that, right? Okay.
Let's try it. I think this is exactly why we do this, real world testing. Okay, real world, we're gonna use a different charging post.
Let's see if it goes for more than a few seconds. 188, 195.
Real world is always different from the ideal, right?
Of course, and that's what I've gone to experience with charging every single time. Look at this, 201 kilowatts.
It's almost 1.2 gigawatts. No, it's not. All right, around 37%. The rate dropped to about 144.
You like it?
Yeah, it's been a great car. We're just kind of testing its charging because we ran it kind of low, and so now we're testing it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, at about 66%, we went down to about 117 kilowatts, but still okay. It's done.
There it is, in less than 30 minutes. Better than expected.
So that was
Faster
almost
charging.
ideal because that's what they promised.
Right.
That's what it was better than the promise. And it was also, how much did we spend?
$26.88.
$26.88 to go about 226 miles.
Yeah, that's
It's actually not terrible.
worse than my car with premium.
Okay, how much is this first edition ID.Buzz?
First edition, well, TFL picked this up for $72,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
But it was also a lot of vehicle,
Yeah.
I think.
It's extremely comfortable, not only for the driver and passenger who get massaging seats, which were definitely on the entire time, but also for the rear passengers. There's so much room, there's so many cup holders, there's all the charging capabilities. Like, this was extremely comfortable, and not to mention, she quick. That's 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. That's also something to definitely be mindful of.
You have slippery road capability too, like we mentioned, all-wheel drive.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of vehicle. I mean, if you have all the seats up and then you have a lot of people in this, you're limited on cargo space. But if you put the third row down, you have a ton of space.
Ton of space.
Yeah. My only concern is that it's not the fastest charging vehicle out there. So for a road trip, I would like to see that number higher.
Yes, absolutely. And more range, obviously.
More range.
More range.
But after 4 hours of being in the car with your family, let's say you have 2 kids, husband, wife, you want to get out after 4 hours.
I do not want to be sitting any longer than 4 hours.
So-
It's time to get out anyways.
Anyways, so there you have it. I think it was pretty realistic trip. 2 MPG loops all in one.
What a day.
It's pretty cool. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time at oldtfl.com.